Okay, Randy, let's start with this interview.
Yeah.
Randy, okay, Randy, you are talking for Radionica Public Radio, 8 cities, and for El Expreso del Rock, that is my site since 1990. So you're very welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, there's so many things to speak with you, but we have not too many time. So let's talk about the album Lamb of God. You know, just before the pandemic.
See?
I love that album, and are you disappointed that you wasn't be able to go to tour, and whatever you want to tell us about that album?
Well, that album was I'm very proud of it. It's one of my favorite albums we've ever done. It might be my favorite album we've ever done. And the release of that album kept getting delayed because it was recorded before the pandemic. I see you have the vinyl. And once the pandemic happened, we had a release date. And of course, the supply chain for shipments of everything was interrupted by the pandemic. So
yeah,
a bunch of people had pre-ordered the record and we couldn't get it. So we kept on shifting the release later and later, hoping that the records would come through. Also, nobody knew how long the pandemic was going to last.
Oh, yeah.
So finally we reached a point where the records arrived and it's like, okay, we have to release this thing. And it was definitely the weirdest record release of our career because we worked really hard on this record. We're really proud of it. We put it out and then all of a sudden it's out and it's like, okay, we're at home, you know? So
Incredible.
Like, yeah, my whole basically adult life has been write record, record record, go on tour. So in a way, for me, I mean, I can't cry over the fact that I didn't go on tour on one record, you know, because it was very bad for a lot of people, a lot worse for me, you know. None of my family members died.
Wow.
I didn't lose my job. I didn't lose my home. That happened to a lot of people. So I can't complain because I didn't get to go on tour. But I will say it was very strange, and it felt like something was missing for a while, because it was, you know, I know it was missing, not just for my band, but for everybody, because this community, the music community, it's the way the fans of this type of music really connect, and it's not just like whatever's popular on the radio at the time. It's
right.
It's a community, it's a lifestyle. So I think it was very strange for me to miss that aspect of the community, to miss not being able to go out and play shows and tour and see my friends in other bands, you know, while we're touring and so forth. So yeah, it was really weird. But like I said, none of my family members got killed by coronavirus. I kept my job. You know, I didn't lose my house or whatever, so I can't really complain. I had it a lot better than other people, so it was strange, but you know, I can't complain. That's reality. You have to deal with reality as it is.
I have a countdown in my show named the Top 25 Metal Detector, and let me tell you, Randy, every single album from Lamb of God is being on the top, and this album, as you said, is real good, 2020. But after all you said, I easily understand why Omens, brother. Because since Sacrament, I want to tell you the truth, I haven't heard a greatest album in Lamb of God like Omens. So let's talk about the present, man. I love that album. I mean, here it is, man. I've been playing it on the radio. It's fucking the best. So let's talk about it, man. You know, the guests that you have from one song, the producing, how you feel, everything you wanted to say about it, you know.
Yeah, sure. As far as it was really strange because, like I said, with the self-titled record, we did not go on tour.
Yeah.
And so musician, at least my guys, if we're not doing one aspect of our creative life, we tend to need to do something else in order to be creative. So particularly our guitar players, Mark and Willie, they're the guys who write the music, and they're always writing. So it seemed like, okay, well, since we can't tour, let's work on something else, you know? And the record label wanted to put out another record, which I was really kind of surprised by, to be honest. But since we hadn't had a chance to tour on the last one, but the record label was like, well, let's go ahead and put out another one. So we got together and started writing. These guys did, and we were doing writing sessions. Like, we rented a house. This was during the pandemic.
In Richmond, Virginia?
No, we went to Virginia Beach.
All right.
Yeah, not far away. So we got a beach house, which is nice. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this beach house, and our producer would fly out from California, and we were all contained in this house, working on the music, me and Mark and Willie and the producer. So it was kind of a cool way for us to be together during a time when not many people were together. So, you know, we were taking COVID tests or whatever. So, but we were all contained together. So that album was written in a really weird kind of isolated time. You know, it was kind of written under pressure, I think, because society itself was in a pressure cooker, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I think some of that comes through in the record. And then we went out and recorded it in LA. All of us went out to LA and recorded at Henson Studios, which is used to be A&M Studios. A bunch of famous records have been done there, in a really cool building. And I needed backup vocals, so I got my friend Toby from H2O, Sarah, who sings for Youth Code, some of the guys in Body Count, my friend Wes, who's in Cold Cave, and also in American Nightmare, came and did gang vocals one day, and that was really cool. I always like having, you know, a guest when possible on the record. I've been guest on a million different records, so I like having, yeah. And yeah, it's cool. The album is kind of written in a pressure cooker. I feel like a societal pressure cooker, not necessarily a Lamb of God pressure cooker, but it's like things had been so strange for so while. Time itself has been strange. It's like, what month is it? You know, who knows?
I know, yeah, that's right. That's exactly happened with me.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it came out good, you know, and so now we're heading out. It kind of feels like, to me, we're touring on two records at once in a way, you know, the self-titled and Omens.
And besides that, you have a live album, Randy, live in Richmond, Virginia. I haven't bought that album, but I like you to tell us when you guys got the idea to put this on the street.
Well, we did that during the pandemic. Actually, we did a live stream.
Okay.
We did a couple of shows at a local club called the Broadberry. It was empty, except for our crew and like one or two friends. So a lot of bands during the pandemic, since people weren't touring or playing concerts, were doing these live stream things. And management suggested we do one. It's a way to stay active creatively, and the fans get to see it. So we played all of the new record, or all of the self-titled record, Lamb of God.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. That's great. So we have the studio and the live one, yeah.
And then we did Ashes of the Wake in its entirety too on the next day. So I think the self-titled is the live release one, and it's just from those live streams. It's cool, you know. It's something to do.
Well, let me tell you, Randy, Omen right now on my top 25 is in the 16th position, coming down for the number 5. Cool. So you were running the top, but Randy, besides that, in my countdown, I have in number 3, Lamb of God with Creator. What a nice song, man! State of Unrest. So I was watching, and I play on my show also another collaborations that you have, and it got me the surprised that you are doing this, with Cold Blood. I remember that was the was single that I put in my show with Health, and then Wake Up Dead, the Megadeth cover, and now State on the Unrest. Can you tell us the story behind one of these collaborations, please?
Yeah, well, the Health thing in Cold Blood is Willie, our guitar player. He got really into, during the pandemic, he got really into making electronic music. Because we were at home, and you can
Totally, yeah.
you can make electronic music at home.
That's right.
So he started making a lot of weird electronic beats and stuff, really cool, kind of like almost like trip hop stuff. And through management, I guess the guys in Health, they do a lot of collaborations. They always have. So like they did one with Nine Inch Nails. They've done one with other ones. So they reached out to management and they're like, can we get Willie from Lamb of God to help us out on a song? So Willie was like, oh yeah, and I was already a Health fan. So Willie started sending them riffs, and I think Willie was thinking, oh, they want me to do electronic more music, but they want a guitar from him, because they already.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, cool, we'll do this, and he asked me if I'd sing on it, and I'm like, absolutely, because I'm a big Health fan, and I'm a big Willie fan. I love Willie. He's my buddy. So
he's the best.
Yeah, he's a great dude. So I went over and recorded the vocals for that. At Willie's house in his garage. He has his studio set up there, and worked on lyrics back and forth with the Health guys, and it was really cool, So I love cool stuff like that. The State of Unrest thing that happened. Well, the Megadeth thing was just easy. I did that while I did that while I was demoing the last record. It took me like one pass to do that, and that was just to promote the tour. But the State.
But it was a good deal. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. The State of Unrest thing.
No, the State of Unrest is another story, Randy. Let me tell you, I went to the 70,000 Tons of Metal, and I interviewed Miles and Sammy from Creator, and they were so fucking happy to hear that the song is very important right here in Colombia right now in my show. And I was trying to explain to Miles that you, Randy, and him got the balance, between the old school, the new school. What a radical song, man. Congratulations. How it works.
Well, the thing about that is interestingly enough, that tour that we just did in Europe with Creator, it was Creator and us co-headlining, and then Municipal Waste opened up. Yeah. That tour was booked over 3 years ago, before the pandemic, right? Wow. And we were supposed to go. It got rescheduled, I think 2 or 3 times, because the pandemic happened and we couldn't go to Europe. So Mark and Mille from Creator were working on the song, and it was supposed to be originally Riley Gale, the singer of Power Trip.
Power Trip.
Yeah, who Power Trip were originally on the tour.
Wow, what a shame.
So yeah, exactly. And Riley was a dear friend.
Wow.
So originally the vocals were mostly supposed to be, the music was Mark and Mille, and then Riley was going to do vocals, I think, with Mille, because it would be all 3 bands on the tour that way. Power Trip, Lamb of God, and Creator. Regrettably, Riley died, and the song was still sitting there. So they asked me if I would pick up pieces and sing, and I said yeah, because he was a dear friend, and I wish, to be honest, that it wasn't me on the song. I wish it was Riley. I wish he was still here, but he's not. So we recorded the song, and then in his honor, we donated the proceeds from that song to a charity in Dallas, Texas, where he was from, that he worked with a lot. So it's a cool song. It's a kind of a sad song for me because it reminds me of him, you know, and I know he was
Sure.
supposed to be singing it, but at least we donated some of the proceeds from it, the advance that we got, towards a charity that Riley liked in his honor. So yeah, it's a cool experience, you know, and it is different than Creator or Lamb of God. It's both of us.
Great move, Randy. Right now, as you said, we are living in a chaotic situation. Yesterday, I was reading in my show that Machine Head canceled his tour. So you have to be happy, man, that you, after those 3 years, you're still able to do that tour with Creator. You are coming to South America because the situation is tough, brother.
Yeah, the economic situation around the world is crazy, you know. Like a lot of bands have canceled tours because it's been impossible, you know, really to make it work out. And I'm very grateful that we were able to go to Europe and actually fulfill our obligations. The shows, a lot of the shows sold out, but I hope that would happen because they were on sale for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it was on sale for 3 years. So if you can't sell out after 3 years, maybe you should give it up. But yeah, it's tough, and we're real happy to be heading back down south to South America for this short run of shows.
It's great. I was thinking about the situation when Pantera came back, and I don't know if you know, the first show was in Mexico, and the second one was here in Colombia. And I don't know, before before speak about the new Pantera, when the new came out, I said, "Wow, Chris Adler must be the one who replaced a Dime, man," because I always said in my show that the Lamb of that Lamb of God is the new Pantera. Are you agree with me, man? Because I mean, you guys grabbed the heritage from Pantera and put it in a new level. You know, I'm okay that Zach did a good job, but the first guitar player came to my mind with the Pantera reunion was Willie. And I don't know if I'm wrong, if I'm right, but I just want to tell you that by my heart.
Well, thank you. That's very flattering. Those guys, the Pantera thing, I mean, that's their deal, you know. People have different opinions on it. I think they made the right choice in who they picked, because I know Zach was friends with Vinny and Dime, and I know that Benante from Anthrax was friends with Vinny and Dime for many years, you know. So I think for them, it's good, since they're going to do these shows, that they keep it in the family old school, you know. I think it needs to be someone old school for them, and I think they made the right choice on who they got to play the parts. But that's really, I mean, I really don't have that. That's just my opinion. I think they made the right choice. It's really not up to me, you know, because I'm not in that band and never have been. We're a younger band than them. So
That's right. Okay, let's talk about the new drummer in Lamb of God, Art Cruz. He came from Suicidal Tendencies. Suicidal Tendencies. Do I right?
no, Winds of Plague.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, that's right. How you guys feel with him right now?
Great, dude. And he's been killing it. He's younger than us. We were his favorite band in high school.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
so he's been informed by our music since he was a kid. But we knew him from touring when we were on Mayhem Fest here in America together, and we were touring with Winds of Plague, and he would jump up and play a song with us every now and then, but mostly just hanging out with us. He'd ride our bus, and for years after that, he's been friends. So he's killing it. He hits really hard. He's very precise, and he also he's Chicano, he's Mexican American.
Yeah.
So he adds a little bit of Latin flair.
You can feel that in Omens.
See, so I think that's really cool, you know, that he's got that, because he's from East LA, you know, he's from El Barrio. So
I used to live in LA. I got you perfectly.
yeah, so he's got that flavor to it, and I listen to a lot of different things besides metal, you know, because I think if I only were to listen to metal, only metal would inform me musically, and I know that's the same. I think you become a better musician if you listen to lots of different music. So Art grew up steeped in Chicano Latino culture, and hearing that music and those rhythms work their way into the way he plays metal. You know, you know, it adds something different to it, and I'm very pleased by that. You look at a band like Sepultura, you know,
that's right.
And you look at an album like Roots, where they went really hard into like the indigenous culture. They even had indigenous drummers on it and stuff. The indigenous people of Brazil. I think it added a whole different a whole different aspect to the music, and made it. It really made it Sepultura, made it their own thing, not just another thrash metal band.
That's right.
So I think whatever cultures you come from and you're exposed to, if you can work those into your music, whatever genre, then it makes for better music. It makes for more well-rounded music. So we're super pleased to have Art. Also, he's younger than us, so he adds a little bit of youthful energy.
You did it right, brother. You've been in Colombia. You've been in Rock Al Parque with thousands of people, and you know that the Latins like me dig metal, man. Why? Because we live in a chaotic situation, not like you, the Americans, that are spoiled, or the Europeans. We really dig the thing in thrash and metal, man. You are responsible that the people it goes to your show and fucking explode, because we live in a hard situation down here, brother.
Yeah, I know. I know the reality is tough. And I think that's one reason why our music connects with people in areas like that. Because it's honest, but I try and speak to the reality of the world. I don't write about dragons and fantasy and wizards.
That's right.
I write about the difficulties I see in the world, whether it be violence or economic situation or a political situation. And I think that connects with people. You know, here in America, we have a lot of Native American fans, a lot of indigenous American fans, because it's their life for a lot of them on the reservations is real tough. So it connects, you know, it's an expression of a fucked up situation. And it, I don't know, it's honest, you know, and it's a way of expressing feelings, you know, and expressing emotions. And the thing about the metal scene, the hardcore scene, the punk scene, it's like, yes, some people may think it's negative, but it's a way for people to express those emotions, to feel those emotions, and try and get it out in a positive way.
That's right.
You know, rather than going out and shooting someone.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because there's enough craziness in the world as it is.
And you proved yourself talking about fucked up situations in the Czech Republic, man. Your mind and everything have learned a lot after that experience, I can believe.
And what was the last part you say? What about it?
That you lived yourself a chaotic situation in the Czech Republic, you know? That would be something tough for you to deal.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, and it was a very sad situation.
Yeah, real terrible, yeah.
Very, very sad situation. I think that's the important thing to remember the most, is that, you know, a young man lost his life, and it was very, very sad. So it sucked for me. Yes, it was a horrible, horrible experience, but not nearly as bad as like what that young man's family went through. Mm-hmm. So I have to have empathy and compassion for them. You know, and keep that foremost in my mind. So Yeah, I mean, all that stuff informs our music, at least my end of it. Everything I see, I don't like to turn a blind eye to tough situations. I don't want to escape, at least not in Lamb of God. Um,
Hmm.
it's a very reality based band for me, and I think that connects with people.
Randy, before I let you go, what do you remember for your gigs in Colombia?
I believe the largest show we've ever played
All
was
right.
in Colombia. It was a festival, an outdoor festival in Bogota.
Rock al Parque.
I believe it was a free one. Am I
Yeah, it's a
correct?
free one. Yeah, it's the
Yes.
biggest and the free. It's for free.
Yes. So that I believe is the biggest show Lamb of God has ever played. Like
Oh, don't tell me that, man.
the,
It made me feel good.
the second biggest, I believe, is Download in England. Um,
Yeah,
but this was, I believe, that show was well over 100,000 people. That Colombian
I
festival.
know.
And it was wild. I do remember a band that played. I wish I remembered their name. They were very interesting as a Colombian band. And while they were playing, they had these giant sheets of white paper behind them. And there was a guy, I think he was the brother of the singer, maybe, who was dipping his hands in black paint and painting, making paintings to the music.
I believe I remember that. Yes.
And it was really cool. The band was really, really good. I can't remember their name. So if anybody,
I get the name, and I find out the way that you get the music as soon as you get here to Bogota.
yeah, man, they were awesome though, and it was really cool for me to see that this guy was actually physically making art inspired by the music as the music was being played, and he did that at their shows. And so, of course, every show there's going to be a different piece of art. So it
Yeah.
was something I'd never seen before. I thought it was really, really cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Um, a metal band do. So it was also cool to be playing the biggest show we've ever played, which is right there in Bogota.
Great. What do you want to tell to the rockers here in Colombia that are going to be in 7 days having you again right here, brother?
Right, well, drink lots of water because it's going to be hot and sweaty, and you want to
Totally.
stay hydrated, and take care of each other. You know, take care of each other during the show. We're all here to have a good time and get our energy out in a positive way, but we have to look out for one another because the outside world is crazy enough as it is. You know,
Totally.
we take care of each other. It's familia, you know.
Thank you, brother, and keep rocking.
Hey, I'll see you at the show, bro.
Right on.